Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and today I'm going to talk about Mystery Science Theater 3000, episode 1303, Beyond Atlantis. In terms of the Mystery Science Theater overall fandom, this is a pretty big episode. This is the first episode with Emily as the host. It is also the first episode with a new Crow and Servo. We don't get a lot of these. In fact, in terms of major reboots of everyone, I think this is only the second time that's happened since the Netflix one, I guess, was the first one. Now this one, and yeah, it's a big thing. I wanted to see what Emily would do in her first full episode, and I was very curious, and I was very for this happening. And this is an interesting season because multiple hosts in a season. I think this is the first time since season 5 back in the day. And overall, I will say I liked it a lot. And I liked it, by the way, the Mystery Science Theater fandom, I thought would be tougher on this episode. And I actually looked. I rarely do look. I just try to have my own opinion. Also, I barely have any free time as it is. So, but it seemed like everyone really loved this episode. And it says a lot about a fandom that there's literally no real sexism that I saw on any major Facebook group or forum or anything with this episode. Not to like bring it up and point it out or something, but I think that's actually really cool for, as part of the reason I love the fandom since I've been a kid, is because it's all like positive and not that kind of negativity that kind of is known for like literally every other nerd fan base you can think of. Like, it's just ridiculous at this point. So I think, not to like pat my own fandom on its back, but like, that's really cool. I know she did a tour. I know she's done a lot already, but how people be, and I think that's really cool. I've not seen any negative things. I'm sure there are somewhere, but I have not seen them. And the fact that it is not a major component, I think, says something about how cool everybody is. I don't know, maybe that shouldn't be addressed, but I think it's pretty cool. Anyway, this episode, so I did not see the last tour. I saw the last one with Joel that she was on, but I did not see the one with her because of COVID, and I have a baby at home and I don't really go to theaters right now. So this was kind of my first exposure other than the Turkey Day thing. At first, I think my experience with it, I think this episode also, one thing that goes into this is Jonah recently did an interview, I believe it was Slash Film, who's been doing a ton of MST3k coverage. He said the Netflix episodes were antithetical to the way Mystery Science Theater is made. That was kind of one of the things I didn't like about the Netflix episodes, that it's all like sort of already proven famous people. And I kind of liked the old ones where it was like people who were just like in Minnesota and regular people. And this felt like that with Emily and Kelsey and Connor in their roles. This felt like more, and this is what I always wanted back. But I think using the word antithetical again, I guess, is that when you watch Mystery Science Theater and you're used to certain hosts, I know when I'm going to watch my favorite Joel episode, the kind of riffs I'm going to get, the kind of humor, the kind of style I'm going to get. Same with Mike, same with Jonah. My brain goes, this is a Mike episode, I'm used to that. This is a Jonah episode, so forth and so on. My brain was not wired yet for Emily. I didn't have an Emily switch in my brain yet for Mystery Science Theater. My brain slowly learned as the episode went on, because at first I was like, I don't know about this. Like, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. But one of the few times I will say an episode of Mystery Science, because usually I feel like they start off strong typically, and I never feel like I like them as much towards the end. Maybe that's just me, I don't know. I still love all of them. Some of them I love the whole way through, but not too many have their strongest moments at the end. And man, I really, really loved it by the end, and I was more excited for more. Now, I don't think this is an all-timer. I don't think anyone has done an all-timer with their first episode, although Reptilicus, pretty good. I still think it's a pretty solid episode, and one that grabbed me towards the end. The Mother Crabber thing, the fact that they can all rap, and rap well, by the way. Not like they can like actually rap. Like, I know there was the every creature has a monster kind of Hamilton-y rap. This is like, somebody's listened to some MF Doom, maybe. The possibilities are there. So I and like tried to learn the words and stuff. I thought that was really cool. I really like the Mother Crabber stuff. I'm a big fan of I Thought We Were Beyond Thunderdome joke. I make it anytime I can in my entire life. So them making I Thought We Were Beyond Atlantis joke was great. I do sometimes find it weird when you're watching Mystery Science Theater and it references Mystery Science Theater, but that's where we are, baby. So whatever. Although I laughed at that and didn't mind it. Sometimes when they do other ones. But one observation that Joel said in the Q&A is an interesting riff that they did is the riff so much of that kissing joke where they usually have it from the male perspective. This time they have the female perspective, which I thought was great. And I actually didn't even notice. I just thought, oh, that's the regular kind of joke. I didn't think of it as a role reversal kind of thing. I really liked the new Crow. The other thing is the Crow in this is puppeteered and voiced by Kelsey Ann Brady. This is the first time I've had a female voice or puppeteer for Crow. That's never happened before. I didn't actually know that before watching it, but I kind of liked that idea. I guess I'm not sure why they didn't do that with Tom Servo. I guess because his name's Tom, but like names can change, so I really wouldn't mind. Kelsey Ann Brady actually has that kind of great mischievous kind of Crow energy. I thought it was like a perfect fit in my mind. And Connor McGriffin I thought was a great Tom Servo. He feels kind of naturally Tom Servo already. I know he's been Tom Servo on tour, as well as Kelsey Ann Brady. Those felt perfect. I also like Emily seems to have her own kind of style of riffing, her own kind of personality. One of the things I didn't love about Jonah is he feels very much Joel descendant. I like Jonah as a host actually, but I do like it. I like the difference between a Joel episode and a Mike episode. And although the riffing I think is Jonah's his own like kind of host personality feels a little like it just didn't feel like distinctive enough from what something like Joel in particular has done before. I think Emily has that. Like Emily feels like a completely different thing, not just because she's a woman and stuff, but because I think her own personality and her jokes work for that. I don't know entirely who wrote for it because there's no credits, and as we know, because this is the backers early cut episode, which I think it seems like they're very much like these aren't the finished cuts. I will probably watch at least the finished cuts of this one, I think, because I felt like I needed to get more used to it as a viewer when Gizmoplex starts off soon, in a couple days as I'm shooting this. But I know Sarah Benacosta said on Twitter that she wrote for it, and that's really cool. I really like her. I did like the movie, or I like the choice of the movie for Mystery Science Theater Beyond Atlantis. I thought it was a great thing. Sid Haig, is this Sid Haig's first Mystery Science Theater? I think so. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but it's like a perfect movie. I would say it's like an average kind of episode, and I think the riffs were good, and they got sort of better, but maybe it was just that I was getting used to her and her as a host and things like that. It is also interesting that she's on a simulator, the simulator of love, and not a satellite of love. I'm not exactly sure I love that necessarily. Like, can't you just be on a real spaceship? Come on, guys. But whatever. She's still trapped watching cheesy movies and stuff like that. I like that Jonah was there to give her kind of a nice send-off. I think he directed this episode, or that's what one of the fandom pages say. Again, I don't know if I'm right or wrong on that one. But I will say the one thing, they have such great chemistry together. The core cast, Emily, Kelsey, and Connor. The Q&A afterwards, which I'm not sure if Gizmoplex is going to leave those up after. I think they are. They had so much energy. It was so fun to watch them, and they're just like crazy little kids sometimes. Like Emily's bringing out a recorder, Kelsey's making a joke, Connor's like, I was like, they're so much fun. And you can kind of see that in certain moments. The Mother Crabber skit in particular, it almost felt like they're sort of getting used to the show. I'm not saying they don't know the show or how to perform it. They've done it live, but there's different thing between doing something live and doing it filmed like that. And you could tell they're getting used to it. And I'm kind of, to be honest, I'm more excited about the future of it and their energy and bringing their energy to it than anything. But I thought this was a good episode, and one episode that as I went on, I felt I liked more as it went on, which is different, I think, than most of them. But I think she makes a really great host. I'm really happy with it. I'm happy with how all of this went down, to be honest with you. I'm just like, you know what? This world sucks, especially this week. But it's pretty cool we got this all this all went over very well. I think that's amazing. So I quite like that, and it was a weird kind of a mystery, like perfect mystery science theater kind of movie. I'm not sure who's doing 1304. I'm curious about that. I don't know if I'll get to do an update, like things that have changed I learned from watching the actual cuts of the episode, but I thought this was a really a decent one. I would say a decent episode. I think it's the one that at the beginning I was less sure about at the beginning of it, but then even though I was very pro Emily and I like the Turkey Day stuff, and then it kind of rose in my esteem as it went on, which is pretty cool. That doesn't happen when you watch anything. You know, usually you feel kind of tempered at the beginning, and I don't know, that's kind of a cool experience for me. But I like their chaotic energy. I kind of want more of it, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do next time. This is kind of like one of those movies where like, well, that was cool, but it was kind of like one of those movies where like, well, that was kind of cool, but I can't wait for the sequel. And that's kind of how I feel right now. I can't wait to see her come back with everyone and do this all over again. I think they'll. I think they're gonna do. I think they're gonna do a really great episode coming up soon. I feel like we're gonna have a real classic, like a Cry Wilderness or a Mac and Me, pretty soon from these guys. That's my prediction. I think we're gonna have a lot of great classics with us. But you know, I will be happy to see it and review it when it does. So if you have seen Mystery Science Theater 3000, episode 1303, Beyond Atlantis, and you'd like to talk about it, then comment below in the comments and subscribe if